Hello Internet, and welcome back to more Kirby Superstar Ultra. In the last episode, we had a remarkably easy time with the arena. Like, it was such a remarkably easy time that it was a really unremarkable experience. I can't really remember it. And I recorded this like 3 minutes ago. This time, Revenge of the King. The title's so good it has to say it 2 times on the title screen. King Dedede demands revenge. Will he finally reign victorious over his age-old nemesis? King Dedede wants revenge. He's not demanding it the second time. Now he just is, like, requesting it. Careful. He's serious this time. Don't start the cutscene before I say you can. Okay, you can start it. We're starting off in Purple Plants. So Revenge of the King is the first game that is completely original to Kirby Superstar Ultra. I say completely original, but really it's only the stage itself. The music is just the music from Spring Breeze. So all the enemies here are brand new except for Waddle Dee and Waddle Dee. That enemy we just took out there was Sword Knight, not Blade Knight. This is really cool, honestly. It's this is the final game we're going to be playing in Superstar that has a story. And I think it's really cool that they're just going with the same level themes as Spring Breeze. After you've already learned everything there is to learn about the copy abilities and how to use them and how to use helpers and everything, they give you this ramped up version with harder enemies, harder bosses that we'll be saying in a second. It's just so cool. And I wish they did more original with Kirby Superstar Ultra, because obviously this isn't the last game mode and this isn't the only original content in Superstar Ultra, but it's the last original content that has a story to it, and I just feel like that's kind of sad. I scratch that. It's the last Superstar Ultra content with story that actually makes some semblance of sense. Our first boss is Fan. This is from Kirby's Adventure. We are fighting all the mini-bosses from Kirby's Adventure throughout this. The sprite is actually taken directly from, I believe, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, or maybe Nightmare in Dreamland, because I know that's also on the Game Boy Advance and is a remake of Kirby's Adventure. Yeah, no, I just can't get over how cool this is in concept. I am going to die multiple times throughout this specific, game. And also, I'm not going to be going over what all the enemies are called, because I'll be completely honest, I have no clue what any of these guys are called. I like to think that these bird things are named Pablo, but that's all you're really gonna get. I know what Sword Knight is called for a reason we'll be seeing later. That's just a tiger. They turned my little cow into a tiger. Even though I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a bear the first time. I've just been calling it a cow. I don't remember why, but I watched a GDQ run of the original Kirby Superstar, and every time it showed up on screen they said cow jokingly, because I think there's a runner who called it a cow once, and then the Kirby community probably started making fun of them. But I just I don't know why, just the shape and design overall of that enemy just inspires the thought of cow. I'm not crazy, especially now that I know I'm not the only one. If we head out here, we can get a 1-up. That's awesome. See, I don't think anybody's gonna be using this as a walkthrough, because, like, you don't really need a walkthrough for Kirby games. Maybe the Great Cave Offensive part, and maybe Milky Way Wishes. But overall, like, who needs a walkthrough to beat Wispy Woods? Although this isn't Wispy Woods, this is Wispy's Revenge. This is basically Wispy Woods with multiple of the attacks from Twin Woods. As you can see, he can spawn the worms that hurt you while you're guarding. Easiest way to kill those would be to jump up into them. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's actually the intended way to kill those worms. He also drops poison apples that hurt you while you're guarded, and that home into you. I never thought I would see the day when homing apples are an attack I could list for an enemy, but here we are. He also drops Gordos along with apples that you just have to guard and wait to pass. Yeah, no. They are going to be very similar bosses, but souped up a little bit. But we still dance on their graves. Illusion Islands is next. Unfortunately, we don't get Fighter right off the bat this time. We do get to hear this nice music again, though. It's been a while. It's been since... Actually, it was probably in Milky Way Wishes, and I just don't remember it. But it's at least been since Revenge of Meta Knight. I keep wanting to say another game's title whenever I have to bring up Revenge of Meta Knight. For reasons we'll be seeing, but it's a common issue that I've seen in like every other Let's Play of the game I've seen. So, and by that I mean pretty much Yoshiller's, but like, it's a surprisingly big issue. I'm just gonna try to keep Sword because it's an ability that I'm relatively comfortable with that I haven't really used a lot in this Let's Play. Which, if there's any abilities you think that I'm not showing to their full potential, please do say so. I will, like, include sections about abilities that I didn't show properly in the bonus video. It's just, like, there's so many abilities in this game, and there's a lot to them in this game, especially in comparison to, like, the Game Boy Advance Kirby games where, like, each ability had, like, 1 to 4 moves. It's a lot to go over, and it's, like, it's pretty overwhelming to know when I'm going to talk about everything. Just because of how, like, good all the abilities are in this game. So yeah, if there's an ability you like that you think I haven't shown off well enough, please do say so. I am 100% willing to go over them. I don't like the Kabus in this game mode. For all I know, these enemies might have the exact same names that they have in the original. It looks like most of the underwater enemies remain unchanged. Although I did see an octopus before in the cutscene. You still get a 1-up in there, but the room's a bit more dangerous because the obstacles can actually hurt you. Unlike in Spring Breeze, where the obstacles literally can't affect you underwater. Rocky. Take him out as usual. These Poppy Bros are creepy with, like, the clown faces. I don't like it. Alright. I don't know why that door had to be on an elevated... Oh my god, the Scarfies are apples? That's adorable. I love that. Oh, but that probably means they turn even more horrifying. Don't they? Let's see. Holy fuck. I don't remember that. Okay. No thank you. No. No, no, no. They're adorable as apples. I don't like what they turn into. But also, why would you ever want to hurt them to turn them into that in the first place? Do we need... Oh, stone. Was there a Rocky nearby that I missed? Because if so... We could also get Mix Kirby by getting that Waddle Dee after the Parasol detaches. Let's try it. So this is Mix Kirby. I'm surprised we haven't shown it up to this point. Basically, whatever ability it lands on when you press the B button or wait long enough is what you get. So we get Mirror Kirby now, which kind of works for a level called Illusion Islands. This is Fire Lion. I recommend keeping your distance if you can, because this thing can grab hold of you and then do a ton of damage once it has you. I actually kind of wanted to grab fire from it, but I realized too late that I was about to kill it. Alright. We'll heal up Blade Knight too. I don't particularly care for having helpers, as has probably become clear. Here's Lololo and Lalala's Revenge. They can carry out Gordos occasionally, and there are more rows. Occasionally a Gordo can just come out on its own. So, yeah, as you can see, she has a Gordo right now. Be careful of that. These Gordos do a lot more damage than those boxes do. Blade Knight is already dead, and I kind of want Sword. Or... you know what, why not? Let's have Samir help us. We can just suck up the boxes and throw them back. There we go. Because we have severely undershown partners, I know that for sure. That's gonna be remedied on its own pretty soon, but, like... oh, oops. Thank you, Samir. You're making up for my mistakes. Basically, on this boss, you're just going to want to suck up the boxes and then wait for them to come back out, so then you can shoot them from behind. Alright. That is Illusion Isles all set. Crash Clouds. This is one of the harder levels, actually, I think. I want to get this one up and then run away. Yeah, you can see that the cannons, I know they actually have a name. I think it's like Shatso or something. They fire off a lot more shots in Revenge of the King than usual. I think if I know the name of an enemy's like original form, that's just what I'm gonna call them by. Like, I guess Broom Hatters are completely normal here too. Yeah, if I know the name of their normal form, then I guess that's what I'll call them. Like, I'll call these apples Scarfies. I'll call these cannons Shatzos, because I'm pretty sure that's what the original variants are actually called. Just for the sake of simplicity, because, like, I didn't... Usually for platformers, when I'm doing notes and stuff, I'll actually look into what all the enemies are called and everything. But with Kirby, there's so many enemies with such obscure names that, like... Who cares that the squid is called Squishy? Who cares that the pink fly is called Bronto Burt? I care. I care a lot about Bronto Burt, but... You know what I mean? With Kirby in particular, it's like, there's so many enemies with obscure names, and like, you're looking into it and you'll find like 16 variants of the same enemy with different names. Ugh. Like Spear Waddle Dee and Parasol Waddle Dee are all different types of Waddle Dees. It's ridiculous. Also, Waddle Doo, like, what is he? Because Waddle Doo is a boss in Kirby 64, but he's also just a Waddle Dee that's been possessed by dark matter. Also, Kracko Jr.'s Revenge. Be careful of this, because this is very similar to the Kracko Jr. boss in the harder mode of Kirby's Dreamland, which is piss hard. God, Poppy Bros Jr., you're lucky that you found your way into my heart in Great Cave Offensive. Or else I would be being Great Cave Offensive to you right now. Okay, I'm taking a lot of damage. I need to grab all the food I can in here. There's a tomato here, and then a... I don't know what this is. Here. Is there any more? If there's more food, I want to grab it. It doesn't look like it. Okay. That was actually neat. I hit the flower and then it hit me back into the ice to hit the Waddle Dee. Sword Knight up here. Very nice. Very cool. I think that was a 1-up down here and I shouldn't risk it to check, but I did anyway. Poppy Bros Jr., you are making my life miserable. But God, you're just so damn cute. So yeah, Spear Waddle Dees are technically a new enemy here. They're just Waddle Dees with spears. They do slightly more damage and they can throw their spears occasionally if they're on the ground. Okay, if you keep grabbing onto my legs, I am not going to be able to help very much, Poppy Bros Jr. Unfortunately, we can fly into the moon. I didn't know you could still fly into the moon here. Okay. Well, I guess the first moon isn't common knowledge, but... or is common knowledge, but this one definitely isn't if I didn't know about it. Because I actually enjoy this game a lot. I wouldn't say this is like my favorite game, it's probably in my top 10, but I don't know where in my top 10. Okay, Grand Wheelie. We're actually running into him, like, faster than I thought we would. This gives you wheel when you suck it up, obviously. It can spawn mini wheelies that also give you wheel. Not a very hard boss. It's about as useful as Wheelie actually is as a partner. Except we can't use it to turn into Wheelie Rider, so it's worse. Krako's Revenge. Use, I recommend using Ice because its standard aerial attack has invincibility frames. He moves around a lot more than regular Krako. He still spawns Waddle Dees. He rains down, but he also moves around while he does, which makes it a little more hard to avoid. He has one attack that I'm hoping he'll show that he doesn't seem very inclined to show right now. I don't know if he has to be a lower HP for it or what. There it goes. So he will fire off in multiple directions, including diagonally, and you have to be very careful of that. Because if you don't know he's gonna fire diagonally and you just go to the corner of the screen, that's rough. That's real rough. That's rough too. Glad he flew right into that ice cube to make my life easier. Okay. So we now know that it's not only the dream fountains that can create the starship, but also just the regular-ass stars that we get from beating the bosses. So why didn't we just use the starship to, like, perform an airstrike on Mount Dedede the first time? Kabula is a reference to a boss against a very similar blimp in the original Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy. Be very careful here, because there's so much going on, because like you're firing off and then you're hitting its bullets as it shoots them. By the way, it shoots off bullet bills, nice. It can be very hard to tell what's going on. It can spawn Gordos and you won't even see them, and then those will deal damage to you. So yeah, be very careful. I keep saying it, but Kabula is actually a girl. Kabula? Kabula? I'm gonna not call it Kabula. Great King! Kabula has been defeated. What should we do?
You mean Kirby is coming here now?
Relax, Great King. You must stay calm.
Right. Well, here's what we do. Kirby will be ours.
I'm gonna try to give King Dedede like a J. Jonah Jameson-esque voice. I can't do his voice in the anime justice. So, J. Jonah Jameson is the next most King Dedede voice I can think of.
First, test him. Go, my servants.
And J. Jonah Jameson is very Alex Jones-esque. Our first boss here is Mr. TikTok, whose name is way funnier in retrospect. He gives you Crash, no, he gives you Mike if you defeat him, which can be used to take out other mini-bosses we're going to be fighting here pretty easily. However, there are also enemies in the next room, so I'll take Chili as well. And I'll take Mike. Ah, Great King, he had an easy time!
Ah! We'll see how he likes the next!
That doesn't really fit King Dedede. I don't know. Well, I would say we'll figure it out, but I think I'm gonna stick with it anyway. Just because it's kind of funny for him to have that voice. Alright, next up. Grand Wheelie. This would be our first time fighting him, but no. Chili, you want to be useful like you were like you were in Dynablade? Remember that? When you took out all those mini-bosses on your own? Yeah? Thanks, buddy. God, he rotated so fast he exploded.
Unthinkable! He beat that one too? He's a menace!
Kirby's approaching here, your majesty.
Cursed pink lump! I can't believe it!
Great King, pull yourself together. I think Waddle Dee is probably my favorite character in all of this game. Just in general, both in Revenge of Meta Knight and this, and then, like... He's just such a cute design. He looks like a little monkey. A little monkey ball. We're just flying over everything so we can keep Mike. It probably won't even do that much damage.
Third one's the charm! Get him, Fan!
Fight! Alright, we are taking ice back now. But thank you for your service, Chili. Okay. So if Fan manages to toss you far enough that you actually have a way of hitting the ground instead of a wall, it doesn't do damage. We'll be seeing this later, but there's literally no way to showcase this in Kirby Superstar Ultra because the screen always locks in place and the edge of the screen serves as a wall. I don't know if I explained that well, but I know what I meant. Great King, he beat Fan too!
Grr! Alright, call the cavalry!
Yes, your highness. I like that they gave King Dedede dialogue here. It makes him feel much more human. And it also makes you feel bad for Bandana D. I honestly considered playing this before the arena just because Bandana D makes his first appearance here. But honestly, like, I don't know, it's just like, the arena was in the original game. Waddle Dee was still a boss, but it was just a regular Waddle Dee instead of the Bandana one. And I kind of wish they kept it that way, or at least made it so Bandana D didn't appear in the arena until you've already played through Revenge of the King.
Enough, Kirby! Face Twin Fire Lions!
Go get him! There's Twin Fire Lions, a boss that apparently got to be considered like a completely separate entity because Twin Fire Lions is a keychain in Kirby Triple Deluxe. Okay, there we go. That's its grabbing attack. That I recommend staying, keeping a distance from them for. It's kind of hard to keep a distance from them when there's two, though. Dying to this boss is completely understandable. There hasn't been a Maxim Tomato yet up to this point. And I just got extremely lucky. Oh no! He beat everyone we have!
Ugh! Can't anyone beat that guy!
Great King, Kirby made it here. What do we do?
We're done for. Only one option. Okay then, I guess it's your turn.
But Great King, I can't do it alone.
Fine, you can go. You've been spared.
Don't go, King!
I'm sorry.
Great King! Well, never mind, Great King, you can come back. Kirby died. That's kind of funny. Okay. So I really don't know how I'm gonna do dialogue in this game compared to Revenge of Meta Knight. So Revenge of Meta Knight, I could just keep the bottom screen on screen the whole time because there was dialogue going on for most levels. But this is the only level where there's dialogue, and it would be kind of awkward to just transition to having both screens on screen.
It's time for my secret weapon. Now you pay, Kirby.
All right. Apparently we're gonna pay, and King Dedede has a secret weapon. Got a 1-up and a worthless Maxim Tomato that we actually lost health to get, which... Yeah, okay. Looks like we're gonna be having Beam for a little bit. Okay. That's fine, I don't need Beam. Beam is for losers. And me, occasionally. Our last mini-boss! Waddle Dee. That's a fucking tragedy. He is a normal Waddle Dee with a lot of health, and since this is his first appearance in the series, he doesn't even have a spear. Despite the fact that there are already Waddle Dees with spears earlier in this same game! And you can just suck him up and swallow him! And guess what? He wasn't even trying to fight Kirby. King Dedede let him leave. So he was just trying to leave. He was just trying to go home to his family.
You made it here. Now, arm yourself, you menace!
But don't worry, he survived. He's just in the back.
Our grudge will be settled at last. Meet my powerful secret weapon. The brand new Ddd Hammer!
Brand new Ddd Hammer is right. He has all sorts of new abilities in this fight, including jumping up and creating a shockwave like that, as well as shooting missiles from his hammer. He can jump 3 times in a row instead of the usual 1. He can do that. And this is his most powerful attack. Keep in mind, you cannot fly up too high or that ceiling is actually going to hurt you with electric damage. The sides, if you are jumping, can also hurt you. He can still try to inhale you. I'm pretty sure that's his last attack. I think he's used everything now, so let's destroy him. Maybe my voice wasn't too far off, Jesus. With that, King Dedede is a broken man. You know, I don't get this. So according to a Miiverse post from the developers of Kirby Triple Deluxe, that game took place after Kirby Superstar. Not Superstar Ultra, Superstar. Now, I'm not going to spoil too much about Kirby Triple Deluxe, because that game is actually fantastic, and I do recommend playing it yourself. But Mass Dedede does appear in that game. And the whole plot is Kirby going to rescue King Dedede. So if that takes place after the original, but not Superstar Ultra, then that means that Revenge of the King takes place after Kirby Triple Deluxe, which means that Kirby, or King Dedede, would have essentially taken the Mask Dedede, like the mask and the hammer, and then called that his secret weapon, even though he just stole it from somewhere else. And acted like Kirby had never seen it before. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. We can now play Meta Nightmare Ultra. This is the game that I keep wanting to say whenever I say Revenge of Meta Knight. Next time on Kirby Superstar Ultra, we will be tackling just that. See you guys then.